Welcome to the Audiobook Insights channel. In this video, we will talk about the insights in the book The Fine Art of Small Talk by Debra Fine. This book will show us the techniques and strategies anyone can use to make small talk in any situation. The Fine Art of Small Talk by Debra Fine is an essential guide for anyone looking to improve their conversational skills and build better relationships through the power of effective small talk. Debra Fine, once a shy and introverted engineer, transformed herself into a confident communicator and sought-after speaker. Her experiences and struggles with small talk during her early professional days led her to develop techniques that anyone could use to navigate social situations more adeptly. Published as a handy manual for overcoming those awkward moments of silence, this book offers a wealth of practical advice on how to initiate conversations, keep them flowing, and gracefully exit them. Fine's insights are tailored not just for social butterflies seeking to polish their skills, but especially for those who dread networking events or casual conversations at parties. In about 300 pages, Fine covers a broad spectrum of real-life scenarios, from business meetings and networking events to social gatherings and everyday encounters. Readers will learn how to be memorable for the right reasons, how to listen effectively, and how to turn every conversation into an opportunity for mutual exchange and interest. She provides easy-to-apply strategies for turning superficial interactions into meaningful connections. The Fine Art of Small Talk is peppered with anecdotes, practical exercises, and conversation starters that are both thought-provoking and engaging. This book is not just about talking, it's about connecting. Fine emphasizes that small talk is a crucial skill that can lead to greater opportunities in both personal and professional life. For those who find themselves counting the minutes until they can escape a conversation, Fine's book is a lifeline. It teaches readers not only how to survive but also how to thrive in the world of small talk, turning dreaded interactions into gateways for personal and career growth. In this audiobook summary video you'll learn surefire icebreakers for getting a conversation going, ways to exit a conversation with grace, and the reasons why small talk can position you as a leader. How to start a conversation, keep it going, build networking skills, and leave a positive impression. From casual chats on elevator rides with coworkers to more structured dialogues like parent-teacher conferences, small talk is an omnipresent aspect of our daily interactions. While often dismissed as superficial, small talk serves a fundamental role in laying the groundwork for deeper connections. It is the initial stepping stone that can lead to the development of friendships, romantic relationships, and professional networks. Despite its importance, the very thought of engaging in small talk can be daunting for many. Anxiety about conversational skills can lead individuals to retreat to the sidelines at social gatherings or networking events, potentially missing out on valuable connections and opportunities. For those who find themselves hesitating at the prospect of initiating a chat, it's crucial to recognize the opportunities that effective small talk can provide. This guide is designed not only for introverts who might dread the idea of approaching strangers but also for seasoned conversationalists looking to refine their skills. Here, we offer a variety of tips, skills, and techniques aimed at demystifying the art of small talk. For starters, effective small talk is about showing genuine interest in the other person. Asking open-ended questions that invite more than a yes or no answer can keep the conversation flowing and demonstrate your interest in their responses. Listening actively and empathetically also plays a crucial role, as it helps build a connection and makes the other person feel valued and understood. Additionally, being well-informed about a variety of topics can provide fodder for conversation and prevent awkward silences. However, the key is to steer clear of controversial topics and instead focus on light, universally relatable subjects like hobbies, books, movies, or current events in technology and culture. Practicing small talk in low-stakes environments, like chatting with a barista or a neighbor, can also build confidence. Over time, these small interactions will help hone your conversational skills, making you more prepared and less anxious about larger networking events. In essence, mastering small talk is about more than just making conversation. It's about creating opportunities for meaningful exchanges and leaving a lasting positive impression on those you meet. With the right approach and practice, anyone can transform small talk from a daunting challenge into an enjoyable and beneficial art form. Key idea 1: small talk is a skill that can be learned. Shy people often believe that since they weren't born with naturally good communication skills, they'll never possess conversational prowess. However, this assumption is misguided. Small talk isn't a biological trait or something instinctively known, rather, it's an acquired skill. It's time to discard the old notion that effective communication is only for the extroverted and embrace a new understanding of small talk as a learnable skill. Indeed, while some individuals might seem to navigate social interactions more effortlessly, the truth is that many of us need to consciously develop our conversational abilities. For instance, the author of this guide, once a shy and overweight bookworm, pursued a career in engineering primarily because it required minimal interpersonal communication. When her job did necessitate participation in meetings or conferences, she was plagued by anxiety. In such situations, she would often rely on autopilot, initiating conversations by asking about others' jobs, which led to quickly stalling discussions. As she approached her 40th birthday, a personal crisis, the end of her marriage, catalyzed a profound transformation. She realized that her weight and negative self-image were barriers to forming new relationships. Motivated to change, she embarked on a journey of self-improvement, losing 65 pounds and beginning to actively develop her social skills by observing and emulating skilled conversationalists. Her pivotal moment came during an evening out with a friend who encouraged her to approach a man named Rex at a bar. Despite initial reluctance, her introduction was warmly received, and their engaging conversation blossomed into a meaningful friendship. Rex later confessed that he too had felt too shy to approach her, a revelation that underscored for her the transformative power of taking initiative in social settings. This experience was a turning point, leading her to master the art of small talk and eventually to establish a business, the fine art of small talk, dedicated to teaching others how to enhance their conversational skills. Her story illustrates that with determination and practice, anyone can overcome shyness and become an adept conversationalist. By embracing the techniques outlined in the subsequent sections, readers are equipped to navigate social situations more confidently and leave lasting positive impressions. Key idea 2: it's up to you to initiate a conversation with someone. In fact, it's a mistake not to. Many people avoid initiating conversations because they fear rejection. This fear is so common that, after public speaking, it ranks as the second biggest social fear in the Western world. If you're aiming to expand your network, overcoming this fear and approaching people you'd like to connect with becomes crucial. Gaining the confidence to start a conversation involves letting go of the fear of rejection. It's helpful to recognize that people generally appreciate the effort when someone approaches them to chat. This is particularly true for individuals who are shy themselves. When deciding whom to approach, look for signs like someone sitting alone or someone who has made eye contact with you, as these can indicate openness to interaction. Building up the nerve to approach someone can be daunting, but the actual act of initiating conversation is straightforward. A warm smile is often all it takes to break the ice, as most people will smile back. The next step is to introduce yourself confidently. While maintaining eye contact, extend your hand for a handshake and say, "Hi, my name is Tracy. Nice to meet you." Approaching a group can seem more challenging than approaching an individual, but it's not insurmountable. Begin by showing interest in the group's discussion from a distance, ensuring you respect the current speaker. Often, the group will notice your interest and naturally open up to include you. Once you join, take the time to understand the group dynamics before contributing significantly. In certain scenarios, failing to engage with others can unintentionally make you appear aloof or arrogant. For example, the author recalls an incident involving Bob, the senior vice president of a reputable company. Despite seeing him at various events, she never introduced herself due to intimidation by his apparent confidence. Later, when she contacted Bob as an engineering salesperson, he declined her pitch, mentioning her previous lack of acknowledgement at social events. This experience taught her an invaluable lesson: always make the effort to introduce yourself, as it can prevent misunderstandings and open doors to future opportunities. This proactive approach can turn potential social anxiety into a powerful tool for building relationships. Key idea 3. Assume the burden of a conversation by learning people's names and preparing icebreakers. Ever found yourself chatting to a stranger who put you completely at ease? Chances are, that stranger didn't achieve this by accident. Most of us hope others will take on the responsibility of driving conversations forward, but expert communicators understand the value of actively guiding a conversation. They know that managing the flow of interaction evokes positive feelings, making people more inclined to enjoy their company, whether in professional or social settings. One effective method to take charge of a conversation is to act as if you are the host, regardless of the setting. A good host is attentive and makes their guests feel welcomed and valued. Start by focusing on learning and remembering the names of each person you interact with. After introducing yourself, ask, "What's your name?" Placing emphasis on "your" subtly makes the individual feel special and respected. Continue in your role as a host when new individuals join the conversation. For instance, after introducing yourself to the first few attendees at an event, you can facilitate introductions among later arrivals. This not only helps to break the ice but also positions you as a leader within the group, someone who is personable and inclusive. Next, it's essential to steer the conversation effectively. Prepare by thinking of engaging icebreakers ahead of time, which go beyond the typical, "What do you do?" This question, while standard, often doesn't lead to meaningful interactions. If you're at a professional gathering, inquire about how someone entered their field or what projects they're excited about currently. For more social settings, asking about hobbies or interests can open up the floor to richer dialogue. You might also experiment with more unique or playful questions to spark interest. For example, asking about someone's favorite vacation spot or a book they recommend can lead to a lively exchange. The author once noted a reporter at a party who, after introducing herself, asked another guest about their star sign, which led to an engaging conversation about astrology. While these icebreakers should be adapted to the context and your comfort level, the goal remains the same: make those you're speaking with feel comfortable and show genuine interest in their responses. This approach not only makes the conversation more enjoyable for everyone involved but also enhances your reputation as a thoughtful and engaging communicator. Key idea 4. Asking open-ended questions and digging deeper improves conversations. How was your weekend? How have you been? How was work today? These common questions often elicit a generic response, "Good." How was yours? Such exchanges, lacking depth and sincerity, seldom lead to meaningful conversations. To enhance your interactions and connect on a deeper level, you need to employ a more engaging approach. The key to enriching your conversations is to ask open-ended questions that invite expansive replies. These types of questions show your conversation partners that you are genuinely interested in their thoughts and feelings. They allow the other person to share as much or as little as they feel comfortable with, fostering a deeper dialogue. For instance, instead of asking, "Did you like the movie?" which can be answered with a simple yes or no, try, "What did you think about that movie?" This encourages the respondent to elaborate on their thoughts and feelings. Consider how you interact with your child after school. The typical, "How was school?" might only yield a one-word response like, "Fine." To avoid letting the conversation stall, follow up with more probing questions such as, "What was the most interesting thing you learned today?" Or, "Who did you hang out with during recess, and what did you do?" These questions demonstrate your interest in their daily life and can lead to your child sharing more about their experiences, thoughts, and feelings. Similarly, when a colleague asks about your weekend, instead of a brief reply, share a short story from your weekend before inquiring about theirs. By offering a narrative, you set a precedent for a richer, more engaging exchange. This not only makes the conversation more interesting but also encourages reciprocity in the level of detail shared. When conversing, especially with new acquaintances or in professional settings, it's crucial to gauge the appropriateness of your questions. If you sense discomfort or a lack of interest in personal topics, it's wise to steer the conversation back to more neutral ground. Observing and respecting these boundaries will help maintain a comfortable dialogue for all parties involved. This sensitivity to context and reaction not only enhances communication but also builds trust and respect between conversational partners. Key idea 5. Use varied questions and environmental clues to keep conversations alive. When engaging in small talk, there will inevitably be times when a conversation dips into an awkward silence. If you wait for someone else to think of something to say, though, you'll risk letting the conversation die entirely. Instead, when awkward silence strikes, take the reins and get the conversation back to a comfortable flow. One way to fill a conversational pause is to ask a new open-ended question that changes the direction of the discussion. If you have trouble thinking of open-ended questions on the spot, you can trigger your memory with the acronym FORM: family, occupation, recreation, and miscellaneous. While the first three categories are self-explanatory, the miscellaneous category is an opportunity to be more imaginative. You could ask a new acquaintance whether she's enjoyed any books recently. If you're joining a group conversation, you could ask the others how they met. In some cases, you might draw a blank when thinking of questions using form, or find that a question about the person's history might not feel like the right way forward in that particular moment. In these situations, another way to get the conversation going again is to look out for clues by paying attention to your surroundings and the person you're speaking to. What the person is wearing, the venue you're in, or details about the event you're attending are all easy topics that you can draw upon when the conversation slows down, or when you're looking to start a new conversation. For example, you can ask guests at a wedding about their connections to the bride or groom. In any situation, it's important to be genuine about what you're saying. But beware. There are certain topics that you should be careful to avoid. Bringing up gossip, controversial issues, or personal misfortunes will in most cases leave your conversation partner with a negative impression of you. What's more, if you're talking to a casual acquaintance, try to avoid asking about specific things related to her job or family members that you may remember from a previous conversation. That's because it's possible that things have changed in her life since you last spoke. If she lost her job or had a death in the family, asking about that job or family member could easily lead to an awkward downturn in the conversation. Instead, ask more general questions, and allow her to bring you up to date on her life on her own terms. Key idea 6. Paying careful attention to body language and verbal cues will make you a better listener. Have you ever told a story and felt like your conversation partner wasn't listening? If so, this most likely left you feeling frustrated and possibly even offended. You might even have chosen not to speak to that person again. For a conversation to go well, both parties need to feel understood, appreciated, and, above all, listened to. That means that in addition to taking on the burden of a conversation, you also need to be an active listener. Even if you naturally listen carefully, you'll want to make sure that your conversation partner feels listened to. One way of indicating that you're genuinely paying attention is through body language. Avoid crossing your arms, hunching your shoulders, or fiddling with your clothes, hair, or jewelry. Instead, lean forward, nod, smile, and maintain eye contact. These are all examples of approachable body language which signal that you are engaged. Equally important are the verbal cues you give a speaker to show that you're actively listening. The author illustrates this with an anecdote about an 8-year-old named Nicholas. One day after school, Nicholas was telling his father a story about his day. He had painted a picture of mountains in art class, scored a touchdown while playing football, and eaten pizza. But Nicholas got upset when he noticed that his father was reading the newspaper. His father stopped reading and assured him that he was listening, and then repeated word for word what his son had shared. But Nicholas wasn't interested in hearing his story repeated back to him. He was looking for a real connection. There are many ways that you can engage with speakers without interrupting them. You can ask a follow-up question about specific details of a story. You can respond enthusiastically, expressing that you find the story interesting. In some situations, paraphrasing what the speaker has said can be useful to clarify information and prevent misunderstandings. When appropriate, you can even use your listening skills to make connections between what your conversation partner is saying and other things that you're reminded of. By doing so, you can effortlessly transition the dialogue to a different topic, making the conversation more dynamic and engaging. This type of active listening not only shows that you value what the other person has to say but also enhances the depth and quality of your interactions, building stronger relationships in the process. Key idea 7: exiting a conversation gracefully and honestly can enhance the connection you've made. No matter how well a conversation is going, a poorly executed conclusion can stain the entire interaction. Whether you're charmed or bored by your conversation partner, you should make an honest effort to exit every encounter with grace. Luckily, there are a few easy ways to conclude any conversation skillfully. The first thing to do is to circle back to the highlight of your discussion. If you've been talking to someone about issues that are affecting the healthcare industry, you could address the person by name and comment on how fantastic it was to discuss this particular topic. This technique not only reaffirms the value of the conversation but also leaves your conversation partner feeling appreciated and respected. If you genuinely want to continue the discussion at a later date or simply exchange emails, it's up to you to assume the burden of politely requesting a follow-up. Make sure your request is sincere and specific, perhaps suggesting a time or place to meet again or a topic to explore further. Then, once you're finally ready to end the interaction, state what you're going to do next, shake your acquaintance's hand, and say goodbye. It's important to follow through with whatever it is you say you're doing next. If you declare that you're going to see the exhibits at a conference, and your conversation partner then sees you somewhere else having another conversation, he may think that you simply weren't enjoying your time with him. This may hurt his feelings and damage the connection you just made. Another courteous way to end a conversation is to introduce your conversation partner to a new person who joins your group before excusing yourself. This will help your initial acquaintance widen his own network, and should ensure that he doesn't feel that you're abandoning him. You can also use your exit to facilitate your own networking agenda. Say, for example, that you're trying to find a job as an engineer. You could ask your acquaintance if they know anyone who might be able to help you with your job search. In the best-case scenario, he may point you in the right direction and make an introduction. And if not, you can simply say that you enjoyed speaking with him, but that you really need to find someone who can help you. People will understand that you need to move on and remember you for your courtesy and charm. This approach not only serves your immediate goals but also leaves a positive, lasting impression. Final summary. You can benefit from the power of small talk by taking charge of initiating and guiding your conversations. Accommodate your conversation partners by making a warm introduction, asking open-ended questions, and actively listening to their responses. Engaging in small talk is not just about exchanging pleasantries, it's an art that involves drawing people out and making connections that enrich both your professional and personal life. Begin your conversations with confidence. Whether you're meeting someone new at a business event or chatting with a neighbor during a morning walk, starting with a friendly greeting sets a positive tone. Once introductions are out of the way, propel the conversation forward by inquiring more deeply about topics of mutual interest. Instead of the usual, "What do you do?" try asking, "What projects are you excited about right now?" This shift from a standard question to one that invites a story allows your conversation partner to share something they are passionate about, thereby deepening the dialogue. Active listening is crucial in small talk. It's about more than just hearing words, it's about understanding the emotions and intentions behind them. Show that you are listening by nodding, maintaining eye contact, and offering relevant verbal feedback such as, "That sounds challenging," or "Tell me more about that." These cues reassure the speaker that you are genuinely interested in what they have to say. Furthermore, enhancing your small talk skills involves being mindful of body language, both yours and your conversation partner's. Open gestures, such as uncrossed arms and a slight forward lean, suggest that you are open and receptive. Observing your partner's cues can also help you gauge their comfort level and adjust the conversation accordingly. By mastering these aspects of small talk, you not only make your interactions more meaningful but also lay the groundwork for stronger relationships. Whether you're looking to network, make friends, or simply enjoy more pleasant daily interactions, effective small talk is a key skill that can lead to numerous opportunities and a richer, more connected life.